Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of From the Bench to the Mic. Long time no see. Man, it's been a minute. I know I've been busy up with work and just life kind of just got in front, and we couldn't get back on track. But now we are finally back. And obviously, college basketball is over. I probably missed a huge window talking through the NCAA tournament, but I was just so dialed in to watching it that I just ended up not wanting to put anything together because these take a long time, man. A lot of folks don't know, but man, these take a minute to put together. So I appreciate everybody checking out this video. We're gonna get after the NBA playoffs, talk about the Lakers offseason. NBA draft lottery was a couple nights ago. We've got LeBron. What the heck's going to happen with him? A lot of stuff to unpack and go through here on this episode, man. I'm excited to talk with y'all. Let's interact. Get me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. NBA, in my opinion, is second best league behind NCAA basketball. Love watching, especially this time of year with the playoffs, just how high level everybody plays, the stars popping out. The crowds. I had a chance to go to game 2 in OKC with a buddy of mine. Absolutely electric atmosphere. It just so fun. So, when people were talking all bad about the NBA, I'm like, dude, go watch these dudes in person. It's a different ball game when you're in person. The amount of physicality, the skill, the defensive presence that's there. I think that just shot making's at an all-time high. And that's why we see such high scores. But anyways, I digress. Let's dive right on into it. Actually, let's get right into the playoffs. Why don't we? Talk through Spurs Timberwolves. That game is tonight. I think they're about to tip off here in about 20-ish minutes or so, 8 o'clock. 2-2 Spurs Timberwolves. Wemby, Ant, just such a fun elite matchup. Just to watch. I mean, I was able to watch game 4 in Minnesota. Of course, Wemby getting ejected early in the game. I put some money on him to get 12 boards. Of course, he ends up getting ejected early in the game, but nonetheless, Minnesota has just put on an absolute dogfight. Anthony Edwards just willing his way to victory in Game 4, tying up the series 2-2. He was just absolutely magnificent, man. He just will not go away. Jaden McDaniels, he's starting to kind of find a groove after a very slow start to this series. You got Mike Conley, you got a vet. You've got obviously DiVincenzo's gone, so obviously Minnesota's going to be highly motivated to get this series done for him. Try and get back to the Western Conference Finals and or NBA Finals, which I don't think is really going to be possible. OKC is just absolutely loaded. But Minnesota's been a great story. Now, don't get me wrong. I love seeing them. Obviously, them winning without Ant has been truly incredible, taking down the Nuggets in the first round. But yeah, Minnesota's a fun story. I don't know if they're going to have enough to get over the top against San Antonio. Just Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Keldon Johnson, who just got 6th Man of the Year. Wemby, Luke Cornett. I mean, you got vets like Harrison Barnes. You've got guys, Devin Vassell. I mean, they just got too many weapons. And I think San Antonio comes out and plays just such a hard-nosed game tonight. They play excellent defense. They get after you offensively. I'm really excited to see that tonight, and I think they go up 3-2 and actually end up closing it out in Game 6 in Minnesota. So that's just my prediction. I don't see Minnesota's on its last leg. They're just crawling their way to the finish line, trying to get over the hump, and Wemby's going to be able to put his large foot down and put it into the Timberwolves season and send them into the offseason. Now, on the other hand, the other Western Conference Finals or Western Conference semis, OKC, Los Angeles. My goodness, I don't know what I even watched on, what day was that? Last Thursday. Like I said, had a chance to go to OKC versus Los Angeles in Oklahoma City, and Thunder fans won. Y'all are just insane. So crazy. So just an electric atmosphere. You guys were up, standing the entire time, clapping, making noise. Just love the passion from the fan base. Being able to see and lift their team up to victory like that is just so cool. So shout out to OKC with their fan base, man. That was really fun to watch. Really cool. But it wasn't just the fans that willed their way to victory. The players just OKC is just so deep. They got 10 guys that I think can start on 15, 20 teams in the league easily. Isaiah Joe, he can be a starter. AJ Mitchell, he will be a starter. Give him 2 years, he'll be a starter. I think Caruso would be a starter. All their starting five. I think they have probably the best starting five in the NBA. AJ Mitchell, Jared McCain, he probably starts. What do you do at Philly? Why letting him just walk like that for second round picks? I mean, what are we doing here? You got a chance to move Embiid. You got to get rid of him, and you move McCain, who ended up torching the Lakers. I mean, he had 18 in the game we were at, just couldn't miss from 3-point land. But Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, Chad, they got no holes, man. They got no holes. All the stats and stuff coming out of just how efficient they are. I mean, they just boil down. They're a great team. They're a great basketball team. Again, and they have so much depth. So many guys that can just go get you buckets. And if Shea hasn't even played that well in the playoffs, and they're 8-0. I mean, what are we talking about? I don't see OKC losing in the near future. Maybe in the Western Conference Finals to San Antonio, which if San Antonio can get to the Western Conference Finals, I think they can give them a good little push. But man, it's hard to pick against OKC. It's so tough. And like I said, SGA hasn't even played that well. So, going to the Thunder-Laker game, I thought the Lakers played almost dang near perfect for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, the OKC just wills their way to a 20, 30-point win out of nowhere. And they hang their hat on defense. The defense is just outstanding. They pressure you the entire time. They're up in you. They're physical. Or they're getting over screens. They're blocking shots. They're running out in transition, and they don't care who scores. Such a selfless team. That's what makes them so dangerous. They love to play defense, and they're a very selfless team. They don't care who scores, who gets the glory. They just want to win, and it's hard to find that. It's hard to find that in the NBA these days. So, and then the Eastern Conference. Except for the Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be Knicks all the way. Detroit and Cleveland won't be able to hang with the Knicks with how they're playing right now. Brunson and Cat are on another planet. So give me Knicks in probably 5. Knicks in 5, and they get back to the finals for the first time in I think forever, 20 years. I want to say at least a long time coming. But yeah, congrats to the Knicks getting that Eastern Conference Finals W preemptively. So maybe I just jinxed it too, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm in for a finals pick. Can't go against. I'm not going against OKC if they can get there. If San Antonio were some way to beat OKC, give me San Antonio. So I'm gonna take whoever comes out of the West to win the whole thing. So yeah, that's my little playoff preview, review, whatever you want to call it. But let's talk my team. We'll talk the Lakers. Talk the Lakers offseason. Okay, what do you got to do? Feel the Lakers, man. You're kind of in no man's land. You've got LeBron set to make his decision on one end. You've got Luka chomping at the bits to get back out there, build around him. Which way are we going? Because I don't think you can do both. I think you got to either try to run it back with how you do it, or I think you got to let LeBron walk and you move Luka to your centerpiece and you build around him. So, hypothetically, let's just say LeBron walks. He retires, signs on the team, whatever. You got Luka. You go Luka in the middle. I think you bring back Austin Reeves. As bad of a series as he had against OKC, I think you bring back Austin Reeves. He's got to get better defensively if the Lakers want any sort of chance to get to an NBA Finals, let alone win one. You bring back Austin Reeves. You've got to go get a big man. The big man market's going to be outstanding in this upcoming free agency. You've got Walker Kessler, Mark Williams, Mitchell Robinson, Porzingis, Vucevic. You've got Jalen Duren, who's going to be a restricted free agent. Hartenstein will be out there. And then even in the draft, like there's a ton of big men coming out of the draft, a very deep and loaded class. So Lakers, I think they're sitting at 23. I think 23. They got a late first round pick. There's gonna be big men there. Especially with how deep this is. I think you can hit on a big and get somebody that can back up somebody you sign in free agency. So let's talk free agency. Who are you going to get? Like I said, you got to get a big man. Luka loves the lob. Luka loves coming off the pick and roll, having a lob threat, being able to get downhill. That's where Luka's at his best. And then once he starts getting downhill, gets to the free throw line, my guy, that's where the step back three comes in. Because then you're on your heels, looking for him to drive and try and draw contact, draw foul. That's when he steps it back on you, hits a tray ball, dagger. Let's go home. So for the big man, my top three. Perfect. Mitchell Robinson would be great. But the perfect scenario, Jalen Duren. If you get Jalen Duren in a sign and trade, or you just sign, he walks from the Pistons, he comes from free agent. I think you got to sign Jalen Duren. Talked to my buddy Boston. Shout out Boz Mox, guy I went to the OKC game with. We were talking through it, and I'm like, Jalen Duren, that's a good point. So you sign Jalen Duren, that's huge. That's a huge win for you. You get a double machine. Had him on my fantasy team. You get him a double machine. You get a guy that loves to play defense. He's gonna play hard. Jalen Duren's number one. If you don't get him, though, let's just say best case scenario doesn't work out, where it hardly does. He was hurt last year. I think you go get Walker Kessler. He's a defensive machine. He goes and blocks shots. He's a dunk threat. He can step it out. He can space it. Walker Kessler would be a great one. And then number three, I got 3A, 3B. I've got Mark Williams, where, of course, didn't work out for the trade with the trade with Charlotte here during the trade deadline. Didn't work out for whatever reason. You go get Mark Williams a free agency, sign him to a decent deal, and there you are. You're linked up with your guy that you wanted all along. Or I think he re-signs with New York, but you go get Mitchell Robinson. He's a vet. Guy loves. He can play defense. He can't shoot free throws, which is a huge problem. Which I think that's going to be a big problem for the Knicks when it comes to the finals. Not being able to shoot free throws because you don't have him on the floor. He's not there defensively. But that's a different conversation. But you go get Mitchell Robinson. That's your last. I think that's your last option. You go get Mitchell Robinson. Stay away from Porzingis. You stay away from Vucevic. Those are your guys. You re-sign Reeves. I think you got to re-sign Rui Hachimura after setting your Laker 3-point percentage for a regular season. You got to bring back Rui for a 3-and-D type of guy. Jared Vanderbilt's still around. You go get a big man. And then last but certainly not least, before the draft or after the draft, whatever, in free agency, you got to go get Peyton Watson. Denver Nugget last year, he averaged about 15. I think it was 14.6 points per game. He had about 5 rebounds. He averaged a block per game, so you know he's playing defense. 23-year-old, just got off his rookie deal. He's hungry. He wants to get a big contract. Why not? Let's bring him to the Lakers. Let's get some youth. He can shoot it. He's gonna guard, and then you start. That's where you go with Luka. So then your starting five next year should be Luka, Austin Reeves. You got Walker. Let's just say second option Walker Kessler. You hope Jalen Duren, Rui Hachimura, and then your fifth is probably a question mark. You probably go with. You got to let Ayton go. Don't bring him back. I don't know. You can fill in with whoever at that point. I think it's a great four. And then coming off your bench, Jared Vanderbilt can play the four. You got Jared Vanderbilt coming off your bench. You bring back Luke Kennard. You get some shooting. I like Adu Thero. I think he plays just ridiculously hard. And then you go to the draft. Maybe you make a move, get into the second round. But with your first round pick, I think you go Taurus Reed out of UConn. He averaged about 20 points per game, plays hard, he's got a high motor, junkyard dog. That's exactly who JJ Redick would love to have. Because after seeing what Ayton and Jackson Hayes did in that OKC game, specifically Game 3, my goodness, you've got to blow up the locker room full of big men. You got to get rid of them. Just start fresh, start young, let's go, and let's run it back. Or you can go guard route. Maybe you go Tyler Tanner. Tyler Tanner brings a little bit of defense to you. He was phenomenal during SEC play. Guard out of Vanderbilt. Little undersized, but he's a dog. He loves a guard. He can also shoot the ball. He can score. So if Austin Reeves doesn't have it going, he can be your third option from a creating, getting downhill type of player. Or third, I'm a little biased, being a hog. Malik Thomas, you get him out of Arkansas, get a shooter. Got to work on his defense a little bit, but he's a long, lanky kid, athletic, loves to play. He plays hard. Go get Malik Thomas, and that's your 3-and-D type of guy. So a lot of moves need to be made for the Lakers right now. You let LeBron walk, you got to make a lot of moves. I think you got to make a lot of moves regardless whether you keep him or you let him walk, but right now, there's a lot of question marks, and we got to be able to answer a few of these. Especially, I think in the draft, they can really make a splash and do something. But those are my opinions on how the Lakers get back to the NBA Finals and how you compete with OKC. So, speaking of the NBA draft, just want to kind of go through what I think top five picks are going to be. So you got Washington, shout out. You've got Utah, Memphis, Chicago, and the Clippers, who got that from Indiana, which, good Lord. Indiana, man, I feel so bad for y'all. You guys had such a bad season. You lose Halliburton in the finals. You don't have him all year. You're just a banged up bunch of individuals. You don't got Miles Turner. You just all that beef that was going on. Siakam doesn't do his thing. You let Mathurin walk. You get Zubac back, but you lose a pick. Just atrocious way to follow up an NBA Finals appearance. So the Clippers get the Pacers pick at 5. Let's start with 5. I think you got Darius Garland. So I was between Kingston Flemings and Darius Acuff here. So if you're the Clippers, I think you got to bring in Darius Acuff. Absolute dog, absolute menace. I think you shift over Darius Garland to player 2, or you maybe look to deal him and get another player back of some sort. But I think you bring in Darius Acuff, let him start leading your charge. You start fresh. You got to move some of these pieces off, and with like Kawhi. Maybe you keep Kawhi around, have a little veteran presence in the locker room, but I think it's time for the Clippers to maybe start hitting reset here in 2026, 2027. So you bring in Darius Acuff, you get your point guard, and you rock and roll from there. Number 4, Chicago. You go get Caleb Wilson if he's still there. You just take best available. I think you go get Caleb Wilson. You get your centerpiece. You got Josh Giddey. You've got you don't have a head coach right now, but yeah, you start fresh with Caleb Wilson. Maybe you go get, Lord forbid, you get LeBron James in the offseason. You make some signings here in the offseason, but you go get Caleb Wilson and you're starting fresh here. Trey Jones, he's solid. You got some pieces, but nothing that's really ever gonna set you over the top. Then, number 3, Memphis, you go get Cam Boozer. If he's still there, you get Cam Boozer to replace Jaren Jackson. Start being, start building toward the future with that. Him and Ja can be decent. Maybe they move Ja in the offseason. You kind of just start over, where that's just kind of been a mess. As of recently, hasn't been great. So maybe you move Ja Morant, get some players back. Now, I don't really have any scenarios or anything like that for y'all, but move Ja, start over with Cam Boozer, and you go from there. Utah is interesting. Okay, Utah is interesting. You got Jaren Jackson. You possibly re-sign Walker Kessler if he decides not to walk. You go get Darren Peterson. Okay, you got Keontae George, who's a stud. Isaiah Collier he's no joke. You get Darren Peterson, you get Jaren Jackson, you get Walker Kessler. That's a decent 5. Very decent 5 for Utah. All of a sudden, I think they get back into maybe the play-in. Go for it, man. Darren Peterson's he's a generational talent, I think. A lot of analysts have him maybe going 1. I have him going 2. But that's a nice little team out there in Utah if they end up drafting Darren Peterson. And then, of course, number 1, the Washington Wizards, you go get AJ Dibonza. You've got AJ, you got Trae Young, you got Anthony Davis, you got Alex Sarr. That's another team that's sneaky decent. I mean, go get a player or two in free agency. You trade, maybe get into the draft, get another pick in the draft, but that's another sneaky team. If Trae Young and AD can stay healthy, I know we say this every year about Anthony Davis, but good Lord, if the man can stay healthy, I mean, he's not a scrub anymore. He's still not. I mean, he's not a scrub right now. That can win you. That can get you again in the East. A weak East, you can get into the play-in maybe. It'd be crazy to see Washington and Utah go from worst to middle of the pack. I don't think it's impossible, but you go with those guys. Those are two decent starting fives. I'm not saying, hey, they're gonna flip their season around. I mean, it could be a complete nightmare. Absolutely could be a complete nightmare. But I'm going with those two dudes to be your cornerstones, as is everybody else. But yeah, don't be surprised if you see Utah and Washington next year do something decent. So those are my top five. I don't really want to go through the whole first round. That would take forever, giving you guys a deep dive on every single player. But Kingston Flemings is there. Kingston Flemings is right around. Keaton Wagler, of course, stud out of Illinois. I'm going to be curious to see who OKC takes at 12. I'm hearing Yaxel from my OKC insiders. Hearing Yaxel, which would be just awesome for him. Especially if Isaiah Hartenstein, if he walks in free agency, you replace him with a guy like Yaxel. I don't know, you put Chet at the 5, Yaxel at the 4. But again, Yaxel would be coming off the bench. That's the thing. He's not starting. He's coming off the bench. Okay, last but certainly not least, talk to this for a couple seconds. LeBron. What do the Lakers do with him? We already talked about it. I think you let him walk. Now, what happens in the offseason? Does he retire? Does he sign somewhere else? What's the move here? Retirement, I think, is totally in the picture. I mean, he's obviously referenced it before. He thinks I think it's definitely in the future for him. Might be in the now. But I can totally see him being the guy that wants to go out on a retirement tour, go sign somewhere, play one season with whatever team he wants to play with, and then rock and roll. So I think retirement may be on the bottom of this list. Lakers let him walk. I think that's definitely on the table. I think that's definitely going to happen. But there's two teams that I'm looking out for. Cleveland, of course, you re-sign him in Cleveland. That would be something. And then Golden State. And it might sound so crazy, but if you get Steph Curry and LeBron on the same team, who knows? LeBron still averages like 20. He still averages 20 plus points per game. Steph Curry he's not a scrub shooter. Braden Pozinski, move him to the 2. Let him cook a little bit. Do something. So Golden State, I think, is definitely in the picture here. He's talked about wanting to play with Steph Curry for the longest time. It's not far from LA. That would be a really, really fun one. You get Moses Moody back from injury. That's another good squad. It's another good squad. It is. I mean, they're right there in the play-in. You get LeBron James? What are we doing? What are we talking about? Come on. Those are my chicken wings. Man, that'd be hype. So, well, LeBron's going to be a fun one to talk through this offseason. I hope he doesn't just re-sign with the Lakers. The Lakers have a huge offseason coming up if they want to get back to the Western Conference Finals and get back to maybe an NBA Finals and then the NBA Draft. Going to be incredible. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. I'm going to grab some dinner. You guys enjoy the rest of the NBA playoffs. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you. Peace.